Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this week's webinar. My name's Sophie. I'm the Community Membership Manager here at Enterprise Nation. And today we are delighted to be welcoming Janice Beckles from B Consultancy, who's going to be talking to us all about startup funding and finance. So if you have any questions throughout the webinar, please do type them into the question box below, and we will get to a Q&A at the end of the session. So welcome, Janice.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sophie, and thank you for inviting me to present this afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this lunchtime session. So, as Sophie mentioned, my name is Janice Beckles from B Consultancy, and I'm going to be sharing with you for the next 15 to 20 minutes some top tips and hints regarding startup funding. So if you have any questions, please type them in the box and we will address them at the end. Okay, so finance. Finance is one of the key, sometimes challenges that clients come to me regarding starting their business. So it's very important before you actually think about taking out finance to really think about having a business plan, really having a clear goal and a clear plan in terms of exactly what you need finances for. Sometimes clients will actually come to me and they'll say that they need finance, and the question that I ask is, okay, how much do you need and what do you actually need it for? So one of the key things is have a business plan, make sure that you connect with a mentor or a business advisor so you're able to really look at and identify your key startup costs. What I suggest is put together a wish list. So things that you would like or you would need in your business. And then the next thing to do is to really revise that list and think, okay, when you get business, what do you absolutely need to start your business? So have a look at your startup costs and then also have a look at your running costs. Once you have that, then you're in a position to have a look at the different types of finance that are available to you. So, of course, the first type of finance is going to be your personal resources. So some people, they may have savings, they may have inheritance, they may have redundancy. But then, you know, your personal resources are also finance. So that's time and money, or your sweat equity. Then the next port of call that I would recommend would be friends and family. Okay, so sometimes you may have, you know, a good friend, a good family member who believe in you, in your business idea, and they may want to invest in you. You may, depending on the sector that you're in, there may be some government grants. So a really good website to visit will be the .gov.uk website. So that's the gov.uk website. And then also look within your local authority. Go onto their website and, you know, you can find out if there are any initiatives that are taking place. Sometimes there may be initiatives where you may be able to get some consultancy or some reduced rates in terms of space, office space, etc. Another way of financing your business that sometimes people don't think about is, you know, your customers and your suppliers in terms of obtaining credit from those particular sources. Then, of course, we have loan providers. So I have a number of clients that come to me. I am an affiliate with Startup Loans, which is a government-backed program to help startup businesses secure finance. So if you have been trading for less than 2 years, you may be eligible for a startup loan. Now, with the startup loans, you will receive a mentor. The interest rates are around 6.2%. So that's something that, you know, you may have some questions about, and I can definitely take those questions afterwards. So loan providers, they're also the banks. So if you have a reasonable credit rating with your bank, you could request a loan from your business bank manager, or you may want to think about an overdraft. Other ways of securing finance for your business, there may be, you know, community financial institutions, there may be credit unions, there are leasing companies. So, you know, leasing is a fantastic way to finance your business. Later, as you grow, there are invoice lenders, and then there are also some new providers on the loan market, which is Market Invoice and also Funding Circle. Some of you may be interested in private investors. So I was with a client yesterday who's got a very innovative idea in terms of using insects in terms of food products, and she's actually looking for angel investment. So there may be business angels, venture capitalists, and then of course you have, the crowdfunding as well. So it's very important to look at your business, look at the stage that you are in your business, and then select the appropriate method of financing your business. And it may be a mix and blend of finance options. So in terms of external sources, they're on the slide just there. So just to recap: overdrafts, trade credit, bank loans, invoicing, grants, etc. And there are a number of government schemes. There are also some Islamic financing opportunities as well. So if you have any questions about that, please ask at the end of the session. Okay, so in terms of grants, now with grants are around, but quite often the organisations that actually have the grants, they may not shout about it. So what I would say in terms of grants, on a regular basis, weekly, do your research, go onto the .gov.uk website, look at your local authority, look at different trade organisations that you may be a part of, and also, do visit, social media, because that's how organisations will get the information out there. So in terms of grants are money that you will receive and you will not have to pay back. There may be some criteria in terms of grants. So for instance, there's a project that I'm working on in the Islington area, and there is a law firm where in terms of their corporate social responsibility, they provide grants of up to £2,500 to small businesses within a particular postcode area of Islington. So what I would recommend to you is, do look out for those types of opportunities, because they are around, but they may be few and far between. Okay, so I'm going to move on. So there are also different grant search databases as well that you can also utilize to search for grants as well. So we have here J4B Grants, GrantNet, Grant Finder, Grants Online, and also UK Grants as well. Another organisation that you may want to contact is Turn2Us. So that's Turn, the figure 2, and then Us. There may be grants available for training, etc. Okay, so if you are seeking to borrow less than £10,000, then there are a number of different opportunities to you. If you are unemployed, there's something called the New Enterprise Allowance Scheme, whereby they take a more sympathetic approach to your business plan, and you may be able to borrow up to £2,500. There are, the credit unions within the different areas who also may be able to lend you funds, but you do have to become a member of those particular credit unions. Now, I'm going to talk about bank loans, and also in terms of startup loans as well. We're going to look at some of the barriers. So some of the things that you will need to make sure that you have in place. Now, if you are trading and if you are a cash business, so one of my clients sells Italian food products. A lot of the money is cash. If you are a cash business, please ensure you bank your money. Even if you bank the money and you take out the money the next day, you need to show that you have an audit trail of money going into your account and out of your account. Something also that I would strongly recommend that you do, please keep on top of your credit file. So you can go to Experian or you can go to Noddle. So that's NODDLE. Please make sure that you visit and review your credit file. Even if you have poor credit history, there are still lenders that may be able to help you. In terms of invoices, if you're trading at the moment, even if you're test trading, keep an audit trail. Make sure that you have, invoices so that you're able to provide evidence of sales. When it comes to loan companies and also the banks lending you the money, remember they have a duty of care. They cannot put you in a position where you are worse off. So something that I strongly recommend that you also do is put together a personal survival budget. And with that personal survival budget, at the end of the month, you should be able to demonstrate that even if you don't make any sales, you're still able to keep a roof over your head, food in the cupboard, make your personal payments and still pay the loan. So that's something that you need to have in place. Now, sometimes when individuals will go to a bank and ask for a bank loan, they may be turned down. And some of the reasons are that they don't have any evidence of customer invoices, there isn't any trading history, or the individual is unable to offer any security. So what I would say is before you apply, do your research. Speak to an advisor, speak to a mentor, and just make sure that you do your research before you apply. Because each time you actually apply for funding, there will be a record on your credit file and it may have an adverse effect. So, really do your research before you do that. On the screen right now are some potential sources of finance. So there's Funding Circle, there's leasing, crowdfunding, angel investment, etc. And then there are startup loans as well. Now, if you're thinking about, funding a product for development, there are a range of sources on the slides just there, in terms of, knowledge transfer. There's some European funding available for research and development, and also knowledge transfer. One of the sites that I always recommend to my clients is the J4B portal. Crowdfunding. Okay, so as the slide says, this is basically a practice of funding a project even, or venture by raising small amounts of money from a large number of people, and this is typically via the internet. Now, I'm sure that you will know of individuals that have, utilized crowdfunding and utilized it quite efficiently. Most of my clients that opt for crowdfunding, they're normally filmmakers or artists. So crowdfunding is an excellent way of financing your business. Now, there's a list just on the slides of different crowdfunding platforms. So you have Kickstarter, Indiegogo, etc., Crowdcube, and Seedrs. Do your due diligence before opting for that particular option. In fact, any type of finance, please make sure that you do your due diligence. Now, some of you may need some additional support as you grow your business. So there are accelerators where they're able to offer you support. They may take a certain percentage of your business or of your turnover in return for the funding and the support. So there is a list of accelerators on the screen there, and I know that these slides will be shared with you after the session. Business angels, okay, once again, there's a list there. There's an excellent group for those of you that are in London called the 3 Cs. So do check out their website. So that's the 3 Cs. Startup loans, government-backed project. Most of the clients that come to me for startup funding do go down the startup loans option. So interest rates there are 6.2%. With startup loans, it's a very simple business plan that you need to complete. So there are questions that you will need to answer even Once those questions are complete, then your application will go to a loan advisor who will meet with you. They may ask you various questions, and then they will put you forward to the panel. So to be eligible for startup loans, you need to be over the age of 18. It says they're trading for 12 months or less, but it's actually 2 years. You need to be trading for less than 2 years. You do need to be a British citizen or a UK legal resident, and you wish to start or expand even your business in the UK. In terms of credit history, if you have any adverse credit, still apply because it is assessed on a case-by-case basis. So some of the benefits, you will have a mentor. So you will have somebody that will, connect with you and be there as a sounding board for you over that first 12 months that you're trading. You can apply for between £500 for up to £25,000. Some of my clients may apply for £5,000 and they may ask for a top-up loan after 6 months plus. You also have access to a range of global partners as well, where you may be able to get some discounts. Now, why applications fail? So regardless if it's startup loans, if it's a bank loan, if it's, other types of funding, why do applications fail? Research. So please ensure that you do effective market research. Great places to go to help you with your market research, the libraries, City Business Library, the libraries up and down the UK. There's an excellent portal called Cobweb, where you're able to get something called a business opportunity profile. That will provide you with details about what's happening within your sector, future trends, help on pricing, etc. That will, so having, robust market research in place will help you with your application. Also think about supporting evidence, so any quotes, any letters of intent, if you have a contract, CVs, showing that you have the relevant qualifications, include all of that in your application and really show that you understand your sector. Cash flow. Ask a mentor or a business advisor to look over your cash flow. Your cash flow should be in the positive, and also your finances should be growing. There shouldn't be, a deficit at the end of the 12 months. In terms of you as the business owner, ensure that you have the relevant qualifications. Even if you haven't operated within that sector before, just demonstrate that you have those transferable skills. And overall, the key thing in terms of business and in terms of finances, doing your research, having a plan, but making sure that you have that belief in yourself and also in your business. Something else that I would recommend is make sure that you have a robust LinkedIn profile. Ensure that your CV demonstrates the transferable skills. When it comes to your social media, please make sure that everything is correct and appropriate on your social media, because the loan companies, they will do their due diligence. There are certain businesses that they will not fund. In terms of the timelines for your proposal, please make sure that you use SMART goals and also be realistic in terms of your expectations. Ensure that you've looked at your competition and that you're able to demonstrate that there is a gap in the market for your business. So at this point, I'm going to pause the presentation now. If you have any questions, if you'd like to put them forward, I'd like to thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, please reach out to me via social media. So my social media handles are B Consultancy Limited. So at B Consultancy Limited, feel free to drop me an email, jb@bconsultancy.co.uk, and the business is B Consultancy. So thank you very much for your time. My name is Janice Beckles, B Consultancy. Thank you. Sophie, over to you.
Thank you, Janice. That was a great presentation. So we've had a couple of questions in, but as Janice said, please do type any more into the box and we'll try and get through as many of them as we can now. So the first question we had in was around leasing companies that you mentioned at the beginning of your presentation. Could you explain a little bit more about how they work?
Absolutely. So some of my clients, they may be manufacturing or they might need a vehicle. So there are, or let's say they might be opening up a restaurant. So there are a range of different organizations. One that I work with is Rangewell. And what the business will actually do, so let's say they need a vehicle, they will actually lease the vehicle. So each month they will pay a certain amount, and then let's say after 12 months, if they want to purchase the vehicle or the equipment outright, then they will just pay, you know, whatever is outstanding. So in a way, it's a way of reducing risk. So they would pay a set amount each month, and at the end, if they choose to purchase the vehicle or the piece of equipment, they have the option to do that as well.
Brilliant, thank you. We have a question here around crowdfunding. Do you recommend equity or reward-based crowdfunding as being more successful?
It's really down to the individual. It's really down to the business and their expectations. So for me to answer that question, I'd need to find out a little bit more about the business and the individual. Sorry on that one, but
Sure.
yeah, there are advantages and disadvantages to both options. But what I would say is you could perhaps speak to some individuals that have been successful, and also, you know, really do your research to work out which option is the most appropriate for you. And feel free to reach out for me. I'm more than happy to have a 15-minute phone call with you to help you, the person that asked that question.
That's great, thank you. A question here about the mentors that you get with startup loans. Does the mentor that you get, are they specialized to the type of business that you have, and will they have expertise in your area?
You can request that. They won't guarantee it, but you can request that. Normally, they will match the business with somebody within a particular sector. But they can't promise to do that, but you can put in that request.
That's great, thank you. A question here around bank loans. Can you apply for a bank loan before you start trading for things like setup costs?
Depending on the bank, yes. You would need to have a business plan. And also something that I would recommend is if you are going to do that and you actually have a personal account with that particular bank, then they'll look at how you've managed your account. So different banks have different rules, but normally, yes, you can.
That's great, thank you. And I think we have just one more question here, which was around, you mentioned social media is one of the best places to find out about upcoming grants. Are there any accounts you would specifically recommend following on social media?
Enterprise Nation.
Thank you, Janice. That's great.
I would say definitely Enterprise Nation, and also, if you bear with me just one moment, I will get another one up for you. Bear with me. Technology, bear with me. Funding UK.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
That's really useful. And thank you. We got through all of the questions there, which is absolutely brilliant. So thank you for your time today, Janice, and thank you for everyone who's tuned in to the webinar today.
Thank you so much, Sophie, and everyone enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And if you do have any questions, do reach out to me and I'll definitely be able to spend 15 minutes with you helping you. Thank you very much.